And you are live.
We're going to call the meeting for Akron City Council to order. Clerk will read the roll.
Baylor.
Aye.
Connor.
Aye.
Freeman.
Aye.
Busco.
Aye.
Hamer.
Aye.
Lombardo.
Aye.
McKittrick.
Aye.
Malik.
Aye.
Neal. Amobian.
Aye.
Samples.
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
Swirsky. All members are currently present except for Neal and Swirsky.
Will now be led.
Mr. Neal is coming in right now, actually.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. We'll now be led in prayer by Councilman Mike Freeman. Immediately following our prayer will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Busco.
Okay, we'll pray together. Father, thank you for your kindness and your mercies day by day. God, we just remember, especially right now, individuals from across our country, they're just suffering because of senseless acts of hatred. And we ask God that we might always be taught in our lives to meet hatred with your love, with your kindness. Father, we do pray for healing, for the wounds that have been opened in our country, that God, you might do your restorative work that only you can do. Guide our thoughts and our meditations and our actions tonight in your name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic
for
for which it stands, one nation,
God,
under God, indivisible,
with
with liberty
and
and justice for all.
The minutes from our previously held meeting have been provided. Are there any additions or corrections? Councilman Fusco?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Can we get a second, Councilman Freeman? Councilman Freeman, can you second the motion on the minutes? Might not be able to hear me. Councilman Lombardo, would you?
Yes, I second that.
Thank you so much. Roll call.
Baylor.
Aye.
Connor.
Aye.
Freeman.
aye.
Busco.
Aye.
Hamer.
Aye.
Lombardo.
Aye.
McKittrick.
Aye.
Malik.
Aye.
Neal. Councilman Neal, can you hear us? Amobian.
Aye.
Samples.
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
Councilman Neal, can you hear us? The minutes pass 11-0.
Thank you so much. Before you, you do have the consent agenda. Motion to approve, Councilman Fusco.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Can we get a second, Councilman Malik?
Second.
Roll call.
Baylor.
Aye.
Connor.
Aye.
Freeman.
Aye.
Busco.
Aye.
Hamer.
Aye.
Lombardo.
Aye.
McKittrick.
Aye.
Malik.
Aye.
Neal. Amobian.
Aye. He must be
Campbell?
having some difficulty.
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
Madam Chair, do you want to give him a minute to try to connect? He's coming back into the waiting room, probably from another device right now.
Okay. Okay. We have no public hearing scheduled for this evening, so we'll move into our old business, budget and finance. Councilman Freeman.
Yes, the committee has met today and we have a favorable report.
Very good. Committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
To be clear, this is item number 1, the resolution adopting an annual operating budget. Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
The resolution passes 12-0.
Councilman Freeman.
Yes, on our second item on the old agenda, we met today and this is a favorable report for our annual operating budget. Thank you.
Thank you. The committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
The ordinance passes 12-0.
Very good. Continuing with our old business, planning and economic development. Councilman Fusco.
Yes, thank you, President Somerville. The request of the committee is for time on 1 through and including 3. And the report of the committee on item number 4 is an adverse report.
Any further comments, Councilman Fusco, on item number 4 before we take the vote?
Yes, just in that, spoke to the ward council representative, Mr. Swirsky, over the weekend, referenced this particular proposal, this proposed conditional use. It's been noted too that the site is smallish, small. Typically we require 7,000 square feet. This is a little over 6. So with that and some concerns that was brought forward, we're gonna, from the community, we recommend disapproval on this particular item and an adverse report.
Okay, thank you so much. Councilman Neal.
Yes, Madam President, I listened to the conversation this afternoon and had a chance to talk to Mr. Antonucci, and I fully respect the position of that community and of the councilman. But I want us to be aware, if we've looked at the articles that came out about housing, and we had talked about the housing policy that exists in that community, I think we would want to work not just with that community, but with others, and making sure that some of our policies don't have adverse impact. Again, we have much conversation about creating equitable policy where there's a shortage of rental units, and I understand the concern about that. But as I share with Mr. Antonucci, a landlord is going to make money one way or the other. And it's much more favorable to have a well-designed 2-unit than for someone to turn it into a group home. We know that somebody could turn any one of our properties into a group home by just placing 5 people there. But I think holistically, when we look at the articles that were in the paper this week about the challenge of finding affordable rental units. Again, I think it's something that we have to look at as a council. We have to take a strong look at some of our policies, because I know in my ward, the challenge is the housing. A lot of people find it, if they're not fixing and flipping them, they turn them into group homes, and that's a challenge. So I remember we had a conversation about a year ago when there was a property that was a legitimate 3-unit that they wanted to turn into a 1-unit. And when this came up, I wasn't able to log on at the afternoon. It just made me think we never really went back and looked at our zoning and housing and how it's been impacted, and making sure that some of our policies don't create the inequities that we say we want to prevent from happening. So I just hope that in the near future, we could put this on the table as far as council to look at some of the policies that we have in our different neighborhoods and make sure that they're not creating adverse impact. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilman Neal. The committee's report is adverse. So roll call for an adverse report.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
The motion for an adverse report passes 12-0.
Councilman Fusco.
Thank you, President Somerville. The request of the committee is to file item number 5. And for that's the petition for the conditional use we just voted on. And for the balance of the agenda, the committee requests time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Time will be granted. Public safety, Councilman Kamer.
Thank you, Madam President. Item 1, we have a substitute that needs to be read in, please.
Substitute offered as an amendment offered by Councilman Kamer, Councilman Fusco, and Councilwoman Samples. Ordinance amending and or supplementing Title 7 Traffic Code, Chapter 70 General Provisions, Article 4 Impounding, Section 70.51, 70.52, 70.53, 70.55, 70.57, and 70.58 of the codified ordinances of the City of Akron and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Madam President. Committee met today and we're going to take time.
Okay, thank you so much. Time will be granted.
And item 2 was withdrawn from the sponsor.
Okay, thank you so much. That concludes our old business for this evening. We'll now move into new legislation.
Item 0, offered by Freeman, ordinance ratifying the actions of the purchasing agent and contracting with Environments for Business, LLC for the purchase of office furniture for the UBO office building, authorizing payment therefore and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Freeman,
Committee's report is favorable, and we're asking for suspension of the rules.
any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Yes, this would allow us to pay Environments for Business, LLC, for some recent furniture that was purchased and some office changes. And with that, we ask for its passage.
Okay, thank you so much. The rules have been suspended and the committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amobian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This ordinance passes 12-0. Item number 1, offered by Fusco, ordinance amending the building line map as referred to in section 153.320 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Akron, 2004, to change the established building line on parcel number 7002865, lot 33 of the Heron Crest allotment from 130 feet to 25 feet and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco.
Refer and advertise for public hearing on April 5th.
Item number 2, offered by Fusco, ordinance authorizing a conditional use to construct a parking lot at 376 North Arlington Street and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco.
Refer and advertise for public hearing to be held April 5th.
Item number 3, offered by Fusco, ordinance amending, supplementing Title 15, Chapter 153 Zoning Code, Article 11, Board of Zoning Appeals, Section 153.404, Jurisdiction Variances, by disallowing the application for a variance after the prior conditional use request was denied by City Council and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Fusco.
Refer and advertise for public hearing to be held April 12th.
Item number 4, offered by Fusco, ordinance authorizing the Director of Planning and Urban Development, after publicly advertising for bids, to enter into an agreement for title appraisal and review appraisal services and acquisition relocation consultant services to carry out the community development program and other programs requiring such services and declaring an emergency.
Consent agenda.
Fusco.
Consent agenda.
This item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 5, offered by Samples, ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service to submit an application and enter into an agreement with the Summit Akron Solid Waste Management Authority for a community recycling access grant in furtherance of Mayor Horgan's objectives of supporting new and existing community recycling projects and declaring an emergency.
Councilwoman Samples.
Thank you, Madam President. The committee's report is favorable and we're asking for a suspension of the rules.
Any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
If this grant will bring revenue into the sanitation division to offset the cost of recycling, and we ask for its passage.
Thank you. The rules have been suspended. The committee's report is favorable. Roll call.
Baylor.
Aye.
Connor.
Aye.
Freeman.
Aye.
Fusco.
Aye.
Hamer.
Aye.
Lombardo.
Aye.
McKittrick.
Aye.
Malik.
Aye.
Neal.
Aye.
Homobian.
Aye.
Samples.
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
This ordinance passes 12-0. Item number 6, offered by Freeman, ordinance ratifying the actions of the Director of Public Service in contracting with Thompson Electric Incorporated for the emergency repair of a substation at the water reclamation facility, authorizing payment therefore and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Freeman.
Committee requested this item be placed on the consent agenda.
This item will be placed on the consent agenda.
Item number 7 was the substitute that we already read in. Item number 8, offered by Mayor Horgan, resolution honoring the memory of the victims of the heinous attacks targeting spas in Atlanta and extending sympathies to the Atlanta and Asian American and Pacific Islander communities, condemning acts of xenophobia and bigotry against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, supporting the federal memorandum that directs the United States Department of Justice to better track and respond to attacks on the Asian American and Pacific Islander community, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Kamer.
Thank you, Madam President. The committee's report is favorable and we're asking for suspension of the rules.
Any objections on suspension of the rules? Seeing and hearing none, the rules have been suspended.
Thank you, Madam President. I believe Mayor Horgan is on and I'll yield to him.
Well, good evening and thank you. You know, it just dawned on me. Unfortunately, we have to do way too many of these resolutions to do this. And to me, that's a sad testament sometimes to our history. And if we're not standing together, and I hear comments, you know, you get to hear them from all over the country and about how people are standing up to this. It's, you know, it's time we move past that and draw that line of saying these things are unacceptable. And I said today, you know, everybody's a person, you know, whether you're where you come from, you bleed, you cry, you laugh, you want to do better for your family. It's about treating people just with a basic amount of respect. And I, Senator Warnock said it best. We know it when we see it. Everybody knows what this was, and it's xenophobic, it's racist, it's bigoted, and we're not immune to those feelings and being able to feel that way. So if we're not standing together, we're falling apart. And I know many of you feel the same way. It breaks your heart that we have to do these, but if we don't push back even stronger than it's getting pushed to us, we as a society kind of fail at protecting those that are most vulnerable. So you get emotional and you get passionate about these things because we do them too many damn times. We don't want to do these things because we don't want to see these events happen. But we need to push back even stronger than we get hit. So I'll yield back to Mr. Kamer. I appreciate you giving me the floor.
Thank you. I don't have anything further to say. I know we had a discussion today during committee. I do support this, and hopefully we can pass this as council and mayor as a whole, but there might be others that want to make a comment.
Thank you so much, Councilman Kamer. Councilman Malik?
Yeah, I was just going to make the same suggestion that the chair made. So I already spoke to it at committee, but I think this is an important resolution for the reasons the mayor outlined. I appreciate him bringing it in, and I look forward to us passing it.
Thank you. Councilwoman Amobian?
My sentiments are the same. I basically just wanted to acknowledge the fact that this is terrible and racism and bigotry have no place in this country, and bothering people who are just law-abiding and just because they looked a certain way, and people, and words have impact and meaning. People need to think about what they're saying before they say it about a race of people. And I certainly agree with the chairman that I like for this to be council and mayor as a whole. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilman Neal?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to speak to the mayor's comments resonated because that's exactly why the association that we're a part of, National League of Cities, started the Race, Equity, and Leadership Council, because they realized that mayors, city councilmen, police chiefs from across the country were coming up, standing before the community, be it for a community shooting, a police shooting, and all they can say is our prayers are with you, and give some kind words. And so the Race, Equity, and Leadership Council was started so that those of us that sit in positions of power could be educated to what structural and institutional racism is and how it impacts everyone. And I said it this afternoon, something that's enlightening, and I encourage everyone, watch the Netflix series of Men. It's about the 14th Amendment, how it's impacted our nation as a whole in elevating our consciousness, because it's ignorance and fear that perpetuates these things. So I just want to reach out to us. I know a while back we passed something, this council moved to pass some legislation creating September Cultures Day. I know I had some issues with that, but the fact is we have it. We've passed legislation acknowledging, the National Day of Racial Healing. It's an opportunity for us to come together to learn and to lead for our community, because we can't impact those other communities, but we can impact ours. And I just want to say that because the mayor's comments made me think of why a lot of these initiatives were started. It's because people were sick and tired of being sick and tired and not being able to empower themselves. And the way we empower ourselves is by educating ourselves and our constituents, because racism is a construct. There's only one race, and that's the human race. But the whole thing with racism was started to divide, conquer, and for economic gain. And it's spilled over into where it's impacting us in other areas of our life. So thanks for allowing me to talk, but it's so that we can live up to what the mayor just said right here, so that we're not just saying some words and passing a resolution. Let's challenge ourselves to educate ourselves.
Thank you so much, Councilman Neal. Councilman Kamer does have a motion on the floor for mayor and council as a whole. Councilman Malik, will you second that motion?
Yes, second.
Roll call.
Baylor,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Freeman,
Aye.
Fusco,
Aye.
Hamer,
Aye.
Lombardo,
Aye.
McKittrick,
Aye.
Malik,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Amovian,
Aye.
Samples,
Aye.
Somerville.
Aye.
The resolution passes 12-0, mayor and council as a whole.
Thank you so much. That concludes our new business for this evening. We'll now move into the portion of our meeting that we refer to as our public comment period, and our clerk will play in comments received.
John Wesley Sharp, attorney and counselor at law. 730 Callis Drive, apartment 1201. Phone number 330-773-4586. PLM, Police Lives Matter. PLM, Police Lives Matter. When an officer is shot down in the performance of his duty, I grieve. I pray for the family of the wives and children of officers who are shot down. They have an extra heavy burden knowing that their loved one died with violence. Blood of Jesus, heal. Work miracles in my life today. I feel the power and love and power of the sweet, sweet Holy Ghost in my body right now. You are here, moving in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, drying every tear. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, mending broken hearts. I worship you. I worship you. You are here in city council too. I worship you. I worship you. Hiya. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. Yeah. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, promise keeper, miracle worker, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, mending broken hearts. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, mending. You are here, moving in my life. I worship you. You are here, city council too. You are. I am Bill, B-I-L-L, Nesbitt, N-E-S-B-I-T-T, at 1155 Diagonal Road, 44307. Oh, 330-379-225. And again, we can have our dear drop-off box, our original High Street location, very aidful for array of the public, particularly with new wave of coronas, possibly upcoming other stresses. Have our box there. Let's set up our
our headquarters at our original area, and that's a service that should not be taken away from our public. Thanks for your consideration. All have a great 2019-2021 St. Patrick with our winter, spring, great season going forward.
Hi, my name is Melanie Welsh. My residence is in Akron. So I have some questions for you guys. So the mayor claimed to spend 1.4 million on homeless programming, but it's 685,000. So I'd like to know where that money is going. It is your responsibility to let us know that. Also, emergency shelter was only used for 18 days. Why? Do you only care about the houseless community when people are watching? You think after 18 days, everything will blow over and you won't be held accountable? I want a little more explanation for that. Only $150,000 per year spent on homeless prevention, but you spend $100,000 per year operating cost plus rewards. Ridiculous. I'm just wondering what you are actually doing to help the community, not just, the ones you like, the taxpayers. This is a humanitarian issue, and I'm just wondering where you guys are. Thank you so much for turning off the comments on YouTube. I wonder if that was illegal. I will be checking in with your mayor. You're going to be held accountable for that one. Thanks so much for your time, and have a good day.
Jody Grassgreen, 699 Weber Avenue, Akron. Preserve the Valley has completed an extensive and well-researched briefing for Tice Woods. It has been emailed to you. Because this is city-owned property with such serious implications to citizen resources, please consider looking at all of the RFPs that will have been submitted come March 31st, not just the one chosen for you to consider. It is important that many voices are heard, especially since Tice Woods is not part of the Valley Master Planning process. I would like to draw your attention to page 4 that lists the 10 reasons we believe the Tice property has the potential to be an environmental, ecological, and recreational business success story for Akron. Here are the 10 reasons why it should be conserved. Valuable natural resource. Tice is the last major green space in the city limits. Connectivity. Tice is a key piece of an existing green belt, which includes land leased or owned by West Creek Conservancy, Summit Metro Parks, and the Cuyahoga Valley National Park. Wildlife diversity. Tice supports a wide range of wildlife important to the ecosystem of the Metro Parks and National Park. Tree canopy. The 45 acres of ground cover and tree canopy on Tice is vital for carbon lockup and protecting the valley from storm water runoff. Economic cost. The cost of more development on the already stressed and high maintenance infrastructure of the valley is too high for taxpayers. Equity and outward migration. Developing Tice accelerates outward migration trends and ignores environmental equity issues faced by Akron's poorest wards. Recreation potential. Tice offers the opportunity for expanded recreation amenities for Akron citizens next to Summit Metro Parks. Education potential. For Akron youth, the Tice Woods offers a prime location for a future outdoor education facility to increase economic opportunities for minority youth in underrepresented fields like environmental studies and green design, and has implications for collaboration with APS career academies. Tice, once a degraded property next to landfill, is now a thriving ecosystem that needs to be valued and maintained for the future. Master plan connection. Tice is adjacent to the master plan area and should be included. Master plan connection. Tice is adjacent to the master plan and should be included in that process. Thank you for your time and service to the citizens of Akron. Good night.
Hi, my name is Ryan Keene. I am a member of About Face Veterans Against the War and serve the people of Akron. I was born in Akron and am a longtime resident of Ward 10. I'm looking forward to hearing Councilwoman Samples follow up for answers on the questions regarding the encampment sweep behind Grace Park on February 17th. According to the Akron Beacon Journal, CSSX notified the mayor's office and APD on February 10th about this encampment sweep behind Grace Park. Who was notified in the mayor's office and APD on February 10th? Why wasn't city council notified? Why wasn't the houseless community surrounding Grace Park notified or any proper notifications posted? Why isn't city property and CSX property behind Grace Park properly marked? Have any council people or anyone from the mayor's office visited the numerous encampments throughout Akron to reach out to these citizens and listen to their lived experience and current conditions? And why housing programming should not require 21 religious services a week, should not separate families, should not separate pets, and should not separate partners, and other outdated archaic protocols. Magistrate Tao says that right now there are over 100 plus evictions per week in Akron and rising. Rent in 2000 was $483 a month. Rent in 2018 is $816 a month in Akron. Rent is up 53% since 2000. Income is only up 29% since 2000. And yet the Neighborhood Assistance Committee of City Council always seems to be subject to call. I would also like to know why there's no public access to itemized budgets. As far as the houseless budget goes, the mayor claimed in the Akron Beacon Journal it was $1.4 million, when actually it was $1.085 million. And if you don't count $400,000 plus in grants for home repairs for elderly and disabled folks, then that brings it down to $685,000. Also recently in the Cleveland Plain Dealer, they did not mention, as reported, that the Akronite app will cost an annual operating budget of $100,000 on top of rewards. This has been downloaded 4,400 times. We only spend $150,000 on homeless.
Hello, this is Sage Lewis. I'm at 15 Broad Street in Akron. I'm calling in regards to the murders that are endlessly happening here in Akron. I believe on Friday we've now reached our 15th murder, and I just want to know what the plan is. Is there a plan? What are we going to do about this? Because we're now well on our way to far surpassing the record-breaking murders we had last year. So I asked City Council to please consider something. An idea I had was reinstating a gun buyback program. I don't know the last time that we did that, but we've got to do something. We've got to try something because this is just getting downright scary. Thank you very much.
That concludes our public comments for this evening. So I want to thank everyone who participated. We'll now move into our committee assignments. Rules, Councilman Freeman.
2:30.
Public Safety, Councilman Kamer.
2:15.
Budget and Finance, Councilman Freeman.
3 p.m.
Parks and Rec, Councilman Neal.
1:45.
Planning and Economic Development, Councilman Fusco.
1 o'clock.
Housing and Neighborhood Assistance.
Subject to call.
Public Service, Councilwoman Samples.
Yeah.
Health and Social Services, Councilwoman Amobian.
2:30.
Public Utilities, Councilman Freeman.
2:45.
Councilman Lombardo.
Sorry, I was just waiting for any more business. I'll chime in after that.
No,
if you're
you go
ready.
ahead. Yeah, we're ready.
Oh, okay. Now's the time. Just wanted to ask council or you, Madam President, about these block watch signs that we used to have in our inventory. Some of you may recall that they said, crime, report it, don't support it, and then gave the Akron Police non-emergency number on there. So just looking to see whether we can get more in inventory for, neighborhood block watch meetings or like a new design for these types of signs. Who would I work with, and can they be supported by council's budget? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilman Lombardo. I'm going to ask that you work with Sarah on that. Sarah and Bob.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Neal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just want to ask, I know we passed the budget, and last year we said that as council we would come together and go over our budget. To Councilman Phil Lombardo's point, it would be good for us to understand council's budget, and now we have the added responsibility of the American Rescue Plan. It's great that we're going to have a chance to have the $100,000 per ward, but that's COVID dollars. We have yet to appropriate our annual budget in an equitable manner across our wards. So I'd just like for us to, if we could set a date on when we would look at council's budget and then look at how we have the opportunity. One of our responsibilities with the American Rescue Plan dollars is having a way to document and track them and keep our citizens engaged. And as I mentioned earlier this afternoon, our state representatives, Tavia Galansky, Minority Leader Sykes, and State Senator Vernon Sykes did a nice job showing how they engaged constituents, took questions over the state budget. Surely if they could do it with the state budget, we could do it with our local budget, and it will be a requirement of us with the American Rescue Plan dollars. We can't afford for these dollars to go into the general fund and try to track 173 or 153, whatever the number comes out to be. So I look forward to when we could come together and properly appropriate our dollars within council's budget. And I know, Madam President, you talked about, because we've got to look at how we're going to handle PR and engaging our constituents, but then also, like I said, having a collaborative, collective plan on how to engage, educate, and work together with our citizens and administration to track the American Rescue Plan dollars. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilman Neal. Councilman Malik.
Thank you, President Somerville. I just want to echo Councilman Neal's point. I think it's clear that the city will receive around $153 million, which is not that short of our whole general fund allocation for a year budget. And this, it's clear this is a once in a generation, type of investment that's going to come to the city. And so I obviously council will all need to be part of that discussion and, making priorities, but also it's so critical that the community has an input here and really has, discussion, because when we talk about housing, when we talk about safety, there's an opportunity to really make significant investments in a way that, we just haven't been able to as a city for many years. And so I hope that we spend it, oftentimes the process is way more important than the outcome. And I think that's the case here. We all have to make sure that as many voices are at the table as possible, in my view. And as I think has been said before, budgets are moral documents. And when we have, the level of housing crisis in the city and the level of evictions, when we have the number of murders, right, we can do something over the next few months to really make an impact over that over the next 10 years, 20 years.
Thank you, Councilman Malik. Councilwoman Amobian.
I just wanted to chime in and just say that I certainly concur. I sent information, I think, to you, Madam President, and several other council members from the Co-Ohio group, explaining to us how some of these dollars are to go toward homelessness and evictions and those kinds of things. So it'd be nice for us to have some way of giving input and being involved in those discussions, because when I heard our new Secretary of HUD talk about the impact of the dollars that are embedded in this act, it sounds like we have a lot of opportunity to be flexible and do a lot of creative things around people that are struggling with housing and the whole notion of eviction and those kinds of issues. So I certainly would love for us to have a conversation about those things as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Amobian. Is there anything else coming before council at this time? Councilman Fusco?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. If there are no objections, meeting adjourned.
This concludes the live broadcast of Akron City Council. Margot Somerville, President of Council, presiding.